What I have for you today is a tutorial on how to create an appointment booking website using Gutenberg blocks. So if you own a business like a clinic, a barber shop, a law firm, or any business that requires a simple booking system, I have you covered. I've been longing to do this tutorial for a while and I finally got a chance to do it. I'm going to show you how you can create a page like this from scratch, and then I will show you how you can create a slide-in pop-up to display your booking system. Your clients or patients can select a service from this list, select a dentist, select a date, book a time slot, enter their contact details, and then the booking is confirmed. So that's what we're gonna do today. If you wanna follow along with this tutorial, I have all the images and videos for you to download. I've left a link in the description. And without further ado, let's get started with this tutorial. Hey, this is Jack, and if this is your first time watching a video from my channel, I share a lot of WordPress tutorials, mainly focusing on using Gutenberg blocks so that your site will pass Core Web Vitals and get higher rankings on search engines. And if that's what you're looking for, then subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification. Now, before everything else, I believe you already have a website in place, so I don't want to waste your time going through how to set up web hosting and WordPress. I believe that's the job for the support team of those web hosting providers, but just in case you want to start afresh or you want me to recommend a fast and cheap web hosting service for your sites, I recommend A2 Hosting. I have tested them against many other popular web hosting providers and they seem to be the fastest of all. If you want to check out how I did the test in a fair and objective environment, you can check out this video over here. Their plans start from $2.99 per month, so they are not only fast, they are cheap too. If you want to check them out, you can use this link to get the latest discounts. Anyway, let's get right into the tutorial. Okay, let's do this. Let's quickly whip up a design like this. And I'm doing this on another domain, a totally blank WordPress install. And as you can see, this is how I like to set up my WordPress Gutenberg workspace. I have the live page on the right, and I have the back end on the left. So the first thing we need to do is to install the themes and plugins, right? So let's go to Appearance and under Themes. And as you can see, these are the themes that are installed on my website. I want to remove them in a while, but let's add new. And let's search for Blocksy. Let's go and install this. And activate. Now, some of you may ask, why use Blocksy in this case rather than Kadence? And the reason for this is because on Blocksy, you can have this slide-in effect over here. While in Kadence, you can have this effect, but you need to rely on a pro version of Kadence blocks, which is another level of membership. So to keep this simple, I would like to have this as a theme feature, but we'll still need the Blocksy Pro version to have the content blocks. But anyway, let me just remove all these unnecessary themes for housekeeping. I'll just have Blocksy as the only theme. And then let's go to plugins and add new. Now there are a couple of pro plugins we need to install. Let me click on upload plugin and I'll drag in Blocksy Pro. Now if you want to get Blocksy, you can use this link with this code to get a 10% discount. The reason why I like Blocksy is because it has a lot of inbuilt features, just like the feature I showed you earlier. But anyway, let's go back here and let's install and activate the plugin. Now we need the license key. So over at the Blocksy account, let's copy this license key and let's paste it here. And once you activate the license key, immediately you will see this content blocks here, which is what we need in this tutorial. Next, let's install another plugin. Let's go to plugins and add new. And then I want to upload another plugin. This time around, I want to drag in Stackable Pro. Let's install this and activate. Now Stackable just went through a complete overhaul of their blocks and it is on a new version called Stackable 3.0, and to be honest with you, they are in line to be the best Gutenberg block plugin for building sites. If you want to check them out, you can use this link with this code. They have a lot of design templates and a lot of cool Gutenberg blocks. We will explore them in a while, but what we need is the license key here so that we can go back here and paste the license key here. Once the license is activated, you'll be brought back to this page. And now we are ready to design this page from scratch very quickly. So the first thing we need to do is to design the header. For it to look like this, we have the menu one here and then we have some buttons here with a logo. And that's what we need. So let's go to Appearance and Customize. And before everything, let's refresh this page. This is how the blank Blocksy theme looks like. And then let's go to header. Now let me walk you through a little. If this is your first time on the theme like Blocksy. So as you can see here, there are 3 rows that you can add some content to it. These are all happening on the header. We have a logo here that is represented by this My WordPress. And then let me expand this out a little. You will see this menu 1 that is represented by this sample page because we have not created a menu yet. And then we have a search function here that is represented by this. So if I want a logo over here, I will just click and drag this logo over to this position and you'll see the My WordPress here. And then for this menu 1, if I want the menu to appear right here, I can click and drag it over to this position. I don't need the search feature, but I need a button, so I'll just click and drag this button feature and put it over here. Now I need a second button here. So let's go over to this button feature and clone this item so that we have this button 2 right here. Let's click and drag it right here. Cool, we have 2 buttons. Now for this button 1, I don't want these 2 buttons to have the same design, so I'll just select this ghost design, which will look like this. That's cool. And then let me change up the logo. Let's click on the logo and then let's select logo. Now I have pre-uploaded these images, and if you want to follow along with this tutorial, I've left a link in the description. You can just click it and download all the images. So this is the logo image. And for the purpose of search engine optimization, I want to paste an alt text over here. This could be the name of your business or whatever. And then I'll click on select. And you can see the logo here. But I don't want this My WordPress, which is represented by this site title. So I will toggle this off. And the logo is a little small, so I will just expand this. Maybe make it 80 pixels. I think it's good enough. Now I want to change the background color here so that the logo will be visible. Let's go to this main row and click on this settings here. And let's go to design. For the background, we want to paste in this color code. And this looks cool already. Next, we want to change the color of this menu items and these buttons. So let's go back all the way to the front and let's go to colors. Now this is the global color palette, which means if you change these colors, everything else on your website that is drawing the color code from this color palette will be changed as well. Let me give you an example. Now if I click on this color 1 and I paste in this color code, you can see that the color of the button has now changed. And then for this color 2, it was this blue color here. If I change it to the same color but make it a little darker, you can see that this changes as well. The same goes for this. It was blue color initially. So this is what the global color palette does. For this dark color, I want to change it to this color code. And we are done. Let's publish this. Next, we gotta add the menu items. So we have general, cosmetic, surgical, and about. So let's go to this menu item. As you can see, as I hover to the menu item, this little icon will appear. If we click on this, it will bring us to the setting of this menu item. Now we need to head back to the WordPress dashboard so that we can add the menu items. So let's go back to this, but let me right click and open up in the new tab. And let's go to appearance and menus. Now we need to give this menu a name. It could be anything, but I'll just put it as menu 1. And I will select this because this is represented by this, which is right here. So if I add the menu items here, it will automatically appear on a page. So let's create the menu. Now we don't have any pages to link to at this moment because this is a completely blank page. So we will add custom links. For the URL, I'll just put a hashtag so that when someone clicks on the link, it will not bring them to anywhere else, but they will stay on the page. For the link text, we have general. Let's add to menu. Create another menu item. We have cosmetics and we have surgical. And finally, we have about. Cool, we are done. Let's save menu. And let's go back to our customizer. Let's publish this first before we refresh this page. And here we go. All the items are here, but it is kind of hidden because of the color blend. So let's click on this menu settings and let's go to design. Over here, the font color, let's turn this white. And here we go. Let's publish this and let's see how it looks like on a live page. This is looking cool, but let's change the text over here. Let's click on this button. For the button text, I want to change this to contact. And for this button, I want to change this to book now. Now let's edit the mobile header. As you can see, it doesn't look really nice. So I will bring this logo to the middle. Click into it. I will make this a little smaller. And then as for the trigger, which is this little icon here, I can turn it to this design. But as for the color, let's click on design. I want to make it this color so it will be visible. But I want a book now button here. So let me drag this trigger over to the left. And then let's head back here. I want to bring this button to right here. And that's good enough. Let's publish this, refresh the live page, and we have this cool looking header. The next thing we need to do is to design all these page elements. I'll do this very quickly, but we first need to create a new page. Let's go back to the WordPress dashboard, and under pages, let's add new. We'll give this page a name. It could be anything, but I prefer if you put it as your business name. So for this case, it is dentist booking. This is the name of the business for this example. Let's just publish a blank page. And then we can head back to WordPress dashboard, and under settings, reading, over here, your home page displays. I want to make this a static page, and for the home page, I want to select this dentist booking page that we have just created. Now we need to publish that blank page first before this will appear. And then let's save changes. And as we refresh the live page, this will be gone. And this will reflect whatever you add to this page. Now we don't want the page title to appear. So let's click on this Blocksy page settings. And over here, the page title, let's disable this and update, refresh, and this title will be gone. Now let's quickly add an element. Let's browse all, scroll all the way down to the bottom. That's where all the stackable blocks are. Let's look for something called columns. We want one column. So let's click on this. Now over here, let me expand this list view so we can see all the layers. As you can see, this column layer is nested over this columns layer. We want to select the base layer so that we can adjust the length of it to full width. Now each layer here will have its own setting. So if I want to add a background color, I want to make sure that the base layer is selected. Let's go to blocks, and under background, I want to turn this on. So you'll see the background here. I want a background color to be this. And then I want to add a new block within that column. So let's click on this. Let's browse all. Let's scroll down all the way. And let's search for something called heading. Now I want to type in some text. Let's say free teeth whitening with first visit. And I want to centralize this. For this text, I want to change the typography to a font called emphasis. And this is how it looks like. Let me change the size to maybe 30. I think that's good enough. Let's update this and let's refresh to see how it looks like. So this is how it looks like. There is still a white space over here. So what we need to do is to go back to the base layer. Over here, the columns. Let's scroll down and under size and spacing. If you have never designed a web page before, you need to understand margins, because margins takes care of the spaces outside of the element. And then for paddings, it takes care of the spaces within the element. Let me show you what I mean. So let's say I want to move this entire element up. I need to adjust the margins. So for the top margin, I'll put this a negative number. So maybe negative 50. As you can see, everything shifted. Let's try to update this and refresh. Now nothing has happened, and I know the reason why. We need to go back to the WordPress customizer. Let's go back to the front, and under pages, we want to click on this, and then over here, content area vertical spacing. We want to disable it, and let's publish this, Let's refresh this and you will see everything is now in line. So cool, we are done with this section. Let's go back to the page. Let's quickly add another element. Browse all, scroll down all the way to the bottom. Let's search for something called hero. Over here, let's click on this. We want to select the default style. And then let us open the list view. You can see that under the hero layer, we have the heading, the text, button group, and button. So for the heading, let's change this. You deserve a great smile. And then I want to change this typography to emphasis. And then I want to increase the size of this to maybe 55 to make a statement. And then this text over here, let's change this to great smile begins with a great dentist. And then as for the button, I'll change this text to book now. Alright, cool. Now I want to change this text to white. Let's click on this and turn this white. This as well, let's turn this white under typography. And then as for the button, let's scroll down a little. Under the button colors, I want to turn this to this color. And now we can add a background. But before that, let's click on this hero layer. And we want to turn this to full width. And then as for the container background, I want to add a video. So let's click on this. Again, I have this video for you to download. So I'll just click on this and select. Now you'll see the video here. Let's update this and refresh the live page and see how it looks like. The same thing, we have this white space here, which we don't want. So let's see how we can handle this. Let's click on this, the hero section, under the block, size and spacing. The margin, we want to put it as -50. Let's update this again, refresh. Cool, I think we are in line. And then the next thing we need to do is to have this section here. So let's go back here and then let's add a new block. Let's browse all, scroll down all the way to the bottom where we can find, actually, let's click on this design library. Let it load for a while so that we can see the design. Let's go to categories. Let's look for something that is suitable. So we have this feature block here. Let's select this so that this will be imported. Now let's click on this layer here. And then I want to shift this image over to the right. Let's click on this, move right, and everything will be shifted. Now let's click on this image. And then I want to select this image. Cool. But this is a little too big. So I will go over to the image fit. I'll put this as contain. That's good. And then next, I want to change this to hello, we are dentist booking. And we can add some feeder text here. And we can change this to about us. Now for the heading, I want to change the typography to this DM Sheriff display. Let's update this, refresh and see how it looks like. Cool, we have this done. See how easy it is with Stackable. And the next thing we need is this section called our services. So let's go back here. Let's add a new block. Let's open up the design library. Let's go to service. And I want to select maybe this. Let's click on this layout. And let's edit from here. The heading, I want the size to be 55. But the typography, I want this to be DM Sheriff display. And then over here, I want to remove everything, keeping just the columns. So I would add a new block. Let's browse all, scroll all the way to the bottom, and let's search for something called image box. Over here, let's click on this. Let's select the default layout. And as you can see, as you hover, there's some text that will appear. But first, let's add an image. Let's say this is the service 1. Let's select this. Over here, we have general dentistry. For example, I will put this as teeth whitening, dentures, and crowns. Okay. And we want to remove this subtitle. So cool. Let's update this first and see it on the live page. We have something like this, which is cool. So what we want to do is to duplicate this over to number 2 and number 3. So let's click on this image. Make sure to expand this, and we want to select the entire image box, not just the image. And then over here, under the options, we want to click this and we want to copy it. Now go back to the second column. Let's remove all these elements. And we want to add a new block. Let's select paragraph. And we want to right click and paste this here. Cool, and then let's change this up. Let's click on the image. We want to select number 2. This is going to be cosmetic. We can have this as whitening. For you dentists, don't hold me to this. I'm not a dentist, so I'm not very sure about the services. Then we can have this as Botox. And then Invisalign. Okay. I hope I spelled this correctly. Next, the same thing, I want to select this image box layer. Open this options, and then we want to copy this. Go to the third column. Let's remove all these elements. And then let's add a paragraph so that we can right click, paste. Now let's select the image. Let's put this services 3. And we have surgical here. We can change this to this and implants. Okay, let's update this and refresh the live page. And we have this cool looking services here. We forgot to change this to our services. And we need a separator here. So let's go to the bottom here. Let's add a new block. Let's browse all. Let's search for separator. Now let's bring this separator up. So let's click on this, move up, and here we go. Now if we want to design this separator, let's open this up. For the background color, we can select this. And then as you can see, that's the 24 pixels of padding. We want to remove the padding so that these two elements can blend in. So let's click here and drag it up. Next, we want to change this background to this color so that it will match and it will blend together. Let's open up the list view. Let's go to this columns here. And then let's toggle this background on. We want to select the same color. And as for the services, we want to change the text color to white. Let's update this and see how it looks like on the live page. Cool. I think this is good enough. Now let's add another separator. Let's select this separator here. And then let's scroll down. We want to flip this above. So let's flip this vertically. And then we want to change the background color to this so that it will match. And over here, the padding, we want to click and drag it up. Update, refresh. We are done with this section. Next, what do we have? We have a testimonial area, so let's go back here. Let's open this up. Actually, just go to Design Library. And then under Categories, let's go to Testimonial. And then let's select this layout. Let's change this up a little. The typography is what we need. And as for the color, let's select this. And I'll just leave this text as it is. This is just a template site. So obviously, if you have real testimonials, you can add the information here. This is just to show you how simple it is for you to design a page with Stackable. Next, what do we have? We have Meet the Team here. We have James, Jane, and Julia. So let's close this. Over here, we don't want to select this block because this block is nested under this entire column here. As you can see, if I select this block, you are actually selecting a nested layer. So we want to have a layer that is completely out of the nested layers, as you can see over here. Let's click on this layer and open up the design library, and let's go to theme. Let's select this here. Now let's go to this header, make it centralized, change the typography. Let's select this and change the size to 55. We want this color. And as for the image, let's click on this. Let's select James. Obviously, for SEO purposes, you can put this as maybe Dr. James. Select this. And then as for this, we can have Dr. Jane, select. And as for the third dentist, let's select this and have it as Dr. Julia. So we have Dr. James, Dr. Jane, and Dr. Julia. And as for the position, we can just put it as dentist. Or maybe certified dentist. I don't know. Don't hold me to this. Okay, that's cool. I'll leave all the text as it is. Let's update this, refresh. And we have this done. Maybe this text, I want to shift it to the middle. So let's click on this text and shift it to the middle. All right, cool. Now, as you can see here, there is just this faint background over at this testimonial section. So we don't want that. Let's select this, make sure the base layer is selected, which is this columns under the block. The background, we want to have this as transparent. And then you'll see the background gone. Let's update this, refresh, and now the background has blended. I think we are done. Let's see what's next. And we have the map and the location here. So let's hit back. Over here, on a new layer, let's go to design library again. Let's go to feature. And we want to select the same layout as before. Select this column. Bring this image over to the right. Select this image. And let's put in the map. And then as we scroll down, the image feed, we want to make this contain. And then over at the heading, let's change the text to the business name. Let's change the typography and the size. Now the location. Put in some awesome text. Let's hit enter. Let's add a new block here. Let's search for something called icon list. Actually, let's not build this from scratch. Let's open up the design library. Let's search for something appropriate. Actually, we can have this here. So we don't need to design everything from scratch again. So let's delete this. Let's select this block. Go to design library. Under list, let's select this. For the image, let's put this as the map. Image feed, let's make this as contain. And then as for this title, I want to change the typography and increase the size. Now I can put in the address, change the size of this a little bigger. And then let's hit enter to put in some text. And over here we have the feature. Let's click on this icon and let's search for an appropriate icon. So maybe let's select this. And for the second icon, let's search for map. And we have this. And for the third, let's search for phone, and we have this. Now over on the right, under the icons and numbers, we can change the color of the icon to green. And then as for the size, we can bring this up a little, maybe 2.5. And we can add the text here. So we can have a call, we can have get directions, and we can text in. And as for the typography, let's change the text to this color. So cool, let's update this, refresh. And we have this here. So I think we are done with this design layout. The next thing we gotta do is to do the booking features. So let's go. Now let me show you how easy it is to create a booking system with plugins from CrocoBlock. It is probably the only provider that offers a booking system with many dynamic features in Gutenberg. If you ask me for a recommendation on a premium plugin, I will recommend this in your arsenal of plugins because you can do more than just booking. You can create a real estate listing site with it, a car listing site, an e-commerce platform with many sellers, a hotel booking system, and more. I recommend getting this all-inclusive plan so that you can get all these plugins. Now, not all plugins are Gutenberg ready. As you can see, there are certain plugins that are meant for Elementor only, and these are the ones that are meant for Gutenberg. But I believe they are putting a lot more focus on Gutenberg going forward. So if you would like to follow along with this tutorial, you can use this link to get the Jet Appointment, the Jet Engine, the Jet Style Manager, as well as the Jet Form Builder. Or you can just get the all-inclusive if you think you are going to build more than just a booking site. Now, the way to style Gutenberg booking forms is still in the early stage, and there are some limitations which I will share with you in a while, but if you just want a simple appointment booking system, this will do just fine. So let's head back to our WordPress dashboard. Let's go to plugins and add new, and we want to upload plugin. I'll drag in the plugin we need. We first need the Jet Engine. Let's install this and activate it. Let's add new again and upload plugin. We would install the Jet Appointments booking next. And then we'll install the Jet Style Manager. And finally, the Jet Form Builder. Cool, that's all we need. Now, first things first, we need to create custom post type for our dentist, as well as the services we provide. So let's go to Jet Engine, and let's go to post types. Let's add new. Now for the post type name, we'll first create one for dentist, and hit tab. Let's expand all this. I think these are fine. Let's just add post type. And immediately you will see here, there is this dentist menu item now. But if you don't like this icon, right, let's do it again. Let's go to the post types. And we want to delete this. Let's add new again. And then let's go to the labels. Over here, the menu icon. We want to change this. Let's search for something like this maybe. And then let's add the post type. So now over here you can see with the dentist menu item, we have this icon here. This is just for your reference. Your patients or customers will not see this. So we gotta add new dentist. Now who do we have? We have Dr. James. Let's just publish this. Let's head back, add another dentist. We have Dr. Jane. And we have Dr. Julia. Cool. But this doctor, we need to quickly edit this. We need to put a dot right here. Let's update this so everything is consistent. Now we need another custom post type. So let's go to Jet Engine. Let's go to post types again and then add new. This time around, we want to put in services tab. And then under advanced settings, let's go to the menu icon. Let's search for maybe heart, select this and add post type. Cool, now we have the services here. Let's add new. Now what do we have on the site? We have general dentistry. Let's publish this. Add new. Next we have cosmetics. Add new again. And then we have surgical. Cool, we have all this here. Now we are ready to build the booking form. Let's go to appointments and setup. Now over here, the services post type, we want to select the services which we have just created over here. And then we want to add providers, which are the dentists. So we will select the dentist and next. Now these are all the database and they are basically the information you'll collect from whoever they are booking from your system. So we are collecting the email, the date, the slots and everything. But what I feel is missing is the phone number because I want to call my patients if they are not showing up. So I'll just create user underscore phone and then I'll create another. So this is user underscore first name. And we're done. Let's click next. And over here, the time format, you can select either this or maybe you want the AM, PM, but this is the uppercase. So let's, for example, select this. Now the slot duration is the average time for an appointment to complete. So for example, each dental appointment would take probably around 45 minutes. Not sure why is this the case. But anyway, you can see it here. And then for the buffer time slot, this is the before slot. So there's some buffer time before the appointment, but usually you will need a buffer time after the appointment because you will probably need to key in some follow-up actions or some private patient information. So you'll probably need 15 minutes. So what this means is that whenever somebody books an appointment, the appointment will take 45 minutes and you will take another 15 minutes to clear up the whole appointment, which in total takes 1 hour. So if another person were to book another appointment, it will be in the next hour. Okay, we're done with this. And for the working hours, on Monday to Friday, it is this timing. Obviously, you can change it if you want to, but I'll just leave it as it is. And Saturday, if you're open half day, you can just add here. So maybe from 8 AM to maybe 12. So let's save this. Now over on these days off, you can maybe add Christmas if you're not working on the day. So for example, let's add days. Let's put this as Christmas. And then for example, you're not working from 24th December. And then you're just starting to work on 26th. So we'll end it on 25th. Let's save this. So on the appointment calendar, nobody can select slots on that day. Sorry, the date is not correct. Okay, understand why. So it's on 25th December. Previously was on 25th October. So here it is. And then next, for the WooCommerce integration, I don't think we need it because usually for dentist appointments, you just pay on the spot. You don't necessarily need your patients to pay upfront. So I will not activate this in this use case. And then for the single service booking form, this basically segregates the services. This is for you to input a form on the single service page, which means it will restrict you to only that service. For example, if you're on the page of general dentistry, it will restrict you to only booking the general dentistry service. We don't really need this. We need a dynamic form, which is this. So I'll just toggle this off. And the next thing is we want to create a form in, you can either choose Jet Engine Forms or Jet Form Builder. If you want to leverage on the Gutenberg styling, you will select this Jet Form Builder. And let's finish this. Now as we hover to the Jet Form Builder and go to Forms, you will see this form created. Now this is the shortcode for you to paste on any page you want this form to appear. So let's just take an example. Let's create a new page. Give this page a name. And then right click and paste this shortcode and then publish. I just want to show you how it looks like. And then let's view page. Now this is how it looks like by default. You can select the service. And then as for the provider, we don't see any dentist yet because we need to set it. So let's go back over here. Let's go to dentist and let's edit Dr. Julia. Now over here, select services. We can type in general, surgical. Maybe she can only provide this 2 service. So let's update this. Let's head back. And then for Dr. Jane, let's search for general dentistry, surgical, and cosmetics. So she can provide everything. Let's update. And let's go to Dr. James. Dr. James can provide everything as well. So general, cosmetics, and surgical. Cool. Let's update this. And then let's go to the appointment form and refresh. Now, as you can see, under cosmetics, we can only see Dr. James and Dr. Jane because Dr. Julia cannot provide cosmetic services. And if we select surgical, all 3 doctors are in, as well as general dentistry. All the doctors are able to provide this service. Let's select, for example, Dr. Jane. Let's select a date. Click on this. Now, there's no indication that you have selected this, but on the back end, it is already selected. We'll fix this in a while. Don't worry about that. And then we can provide an email address. So for example, I'll put in my email and then let's submit. Now, cool, the form is successfully submitted. And then let's go back to our WordPress dashboard and let's go to appointments. If we click on appointment, we can see this information right here. Okay, that's cool. Now the thing is, if we want to edit the form, here's what we can do. Let's go to forms. Let's edit this. Now, for example, if you want to style this section here, this is for you to select the service. You can actually click on this. You can change the size of the text to maybe 18. And the text color, you can change it to maybe green. So if we update this and we go to the page and we refresh, we can see the changes here. Now, what if this is overwhelming and we want our patients and customers to select one field at a time? We can go back to this form and then we want to add block, browse all. Let's scroll down. These are all the blocks from CrocoBlock. We want to select this form break field. So if we click on this, we'll have this button here called Next. So if we want to change this, we can say this is continue. And then let's open up the settings. This is the first field, so we don't need a previous page button. Let me show you how it works. Let's update this. And as we refresh, you can see we can select the services and then we can continue. And if we want to include a form break field again, over here, let's duplicate this and bring this down. But this time around, we need a previous page button. So let's put this as back. And as we update and refresh, we can select a service, continue. These buttons look ugly. We'll fix it in a while. Let's select a provider, continue. And here we go. Now we can add other Gutenberg blocks as well. So for example, over here, this is for us to select a provider. So let's say after this, we have a heading. Let's say this is step 2, select a dentist. And let's style this maybe 30 pixels. And let's duplicate this, bring this up. This is step 1, select a service. Let's duplicate this again, bring this down here. Right after the form break, this is step 3, make an appointment, and then let's create another. Let's bring this down here, provide your contact information. This is step 4. Okay, let's update, refresh. Okay, step 1, select a service. Continue. Step 2, select a dentist. Make an appointment. We need a break here. So over here, let's browse all, search for a form break field, but we want to bring it up right before step 4. And then we need a previous page. Change this to continue. Let's update, refresh. This is just in case somebody changed their mind. They want to select a different service, they can go back. And as you can see, I have not selected a provider and I can just continue. So we want to restrict this. So we will select this field and then we want to toggle this on. For this as well, we want to toggle this on and this as well. Let's update and let's try this again. Let's continue. I have not selected a provider and I cannot continue right here. So I have to select a dentist and then we can continue. So these are the basic functionalities. And where do we want to put this booking form? We can either put this on a completely new page like this, so that when somebody clicks on book now, for example this button, they will be sent to a completely new page. Or you can do it another way. You can trigger a slide in pop-up when somebody clicks on book now. Let me show you how. All we need is just to get this shortcode and then let's go to Blocksy under content blocks. We want to add new. We want to select this pop-up template. Let's give this a name, for example, booking form, and let's create content block. Now we want to select this, the Blocksy page settings, and the pop-up position will appear on the right. And then I want the pop-up size to be max width of 400. I think that is fine. We'll leave this, and then for the pop-up animation, I want it to slide in from the right. I'll leave this trigger condition, and I'll add display conditions. I'll place this on the entire website if somebody triggers this. So over on this, let's maybe add some styling to it. Maybe we can write in book now, or maybe put a heading. And maybe I want to change this typography, so I'll just select settings. Under typography, I'll put in maybe a Lex brush. And then next, I want to add the shortcode. Cool, we're done. Let's update this. Now let's head back. This is the link we need. So if somebody clicks on a button, this content block will trigger. We want to place that trigger on this button. So let's go to Appearance and Customize. Let's go to Header. And for the Book Now button, which is button number 2, let's click on this. And over here, the click behavior, let's open pop-up. And we have this pop-up template. We don't even need that link. So let's publish this. And then let's head over to the page. Let's go to the main page, refresh. If we click on book now, we can see this small section coming up here. So what we can do to style this is to go back to the content blocks and edit this. We can maybe put everything into a container. So let's say I will add a column, a 1 column. And then I will copy this, remove this block. Let me open this up. And then within the column, we want to nest the heading within it. Next, for the shortcode, let's copy and remove this block. Hit enter. So we have another text here that is nested under the columns. And paste this shortcode here. And then under the columns, I want to go to block, size and spacing. Under the padding, click on this to open up these positions. And for the top, I want to put maybe 150. And for the bottom, I will put maybe 150 as well. Let's update this. Go to the page, refresh. And if we click on this, it expands out a little bit more. Let's put this maybe 350. This as 350 as well. And let's update this. Refresh. Click on book now. So we are close. But it still kind of looks ugly. We need to bring this in all the way to the corner. So let's go to this Blocksy settings. Let's go to design. The pop-up offset. We want to turn this 0 so that the gap will close up. And then as for the container overflow, we want to put this as visible in case the form has many elements and it is hidden. If we select this, the content will still be visible. And then for the close button, we want to put it inside. So as we update this, and let's refresh this page, click on this book now, you can see this looks much better. Now, what if you want to add the first name and the phone right here? Let's head back to the WordPress dashboard. Let's go to the Jet Form Builder under Forms. Let's edit this. Now, over at the bottom, let's add another block. Let's browse all. Let's select a text field. Let's click on this. Put this as required. For the field name, we'll put this as user phone. Remember, this is the database we have created. We want to select this settings. And for the field label, I'll put this as phone number. Okay. Let's duplicate another. For this, we want the user first name. And the field label, we want this as first name. Let's bring this up. Let's bring this up as well. And let's update this. Now there's one more very important thing we need to do. Under post submit actions, as you can see here, we can insert appointment. We need to click on this. And over here, the user phone, we want to copy this and place it here. This as well, because this is the database name we have created. And whatever your patient or customer types in, we want it to store on this database. So let's update this. And let's head back to our form, refresh this, click on this book now. We can select surgical, for example. Let's continue. Select Dr. James. And then on the 21st of October, I will select 12. And I have my name, my email address, and my phone number. Let's submit. Cool. Now let's go back to the WordPress dashboard, and under appointments, let's click on appointments, and here we go. We have selected surgical, and we have inputted this email address, and if we click on this edit, we can see that the user phone is typed in here so that if the patient did not show, or if you want to call the patient for more information before the appointment, you can do so. And this is the user's first name, and we're basically done. Now there's one more thing to do, which is to go to the content blocks. We want to copy this. We want people to click on this and it triggers that form. So here we go. Let's go to the pages. Let's click on all pages. This is the front page. Let's edit this. We can actually delete this if we want to. And here it is. Let's click on this book now. For the link, just place this here. Remember to hit this submit, otherwise the link will not register. Let's update. And let's go to the page and refresh. So this can be placed on any button. So if we click on this book now button, this will appear. You can place the trigger on whatever button. So that's basically it. This is the entire booking system. Now let's style these buttons, because this looks ugly. Now to style this, we need to rely on Custom CSS, which I have prepared for you. We can't style this on Gutenberg, but I have raised this up with them. I hope they'll do something about it. But for now, let's head over to the customizer. Let's go to Appearance and Customize. And right at the bottom, we have this additional CSS. Let's right click. I'll paste this here. Don't worry, you don't have to type everything in. I've left a link in the description for you to download this code. Now over here, you can change the color of the background. We can change the colors over here. Wherever has this color codes, you can change it to your liking. So let's publish this first and let's go to the front page and refresh. And let's see how it works. So if I click on book now, you can see that the button has changed right now. And if you want to change this color, you can do so. Let's go to the customize. Let's say that this next page, because this is for the next page, this is for the previous page, and this is for the time slot. So if we want to change this to black, so let's, for example, black, the color of black is 6 zeros. Let's publish this. Let's head over to the page and refresh. If you click on book now, you can see that the button has now changed to black. So let's continue with this. And let's select Dr. James. Let's continue. And do you remember when we have selected this and when we select the time slot, the selected time slot is invisible. So we don't have an indication whether we have selected the time slot or not. So now if I click on this, you can see the selected time slot has this background. So these are all the fixes in the custom CSS. And there you have it. This is how you add a cool booking system to your site. Now let's discuss the limitations we have. Because if CrocodBlock can fix this, your patients or customers will have an awesome booking experience. So let me quickly describe the limitations of CrocodBlocks right now. So over here, if I click on book now, you see we have this very nice looking design template over here. So what I did was, if I go back to the dashboard over here, and this is actually a feature of Jet Engine Forms. So if I go to the Jet Engine Forms instead of using the form from Jet Form Builder, if I get into it, if I open up this service ID, as I select radio, I actually have this option to use a custom item template, which I've created this list of services. So if I go to Jet Engine and open up this listing, let me show you what I did. If I go to this list of services, I've created something like this, which basically reflects this. But if I head over to the forms from Jet Form Builder, if I edit this and go to this service section, I don't see anywhere that I can add the custom list. Okay, so this is one of the issues. There is another big issue. So let's say that I go back to the Jet Engine listing, and as you can see, I've created a list of dentists that basically looks like this. It is similar to this design over here. I want to make this consistent, right? So if I go to the Jet Engine Forms, right, let's go over to Jet Engine Forms, and then let's edit this. If I select this appointment provider, over here you can see I can use custom template for items. So if I select yes, and then I select the list of dentists, apply changes, update, this will happen. Because I think originally this plugin is made for Elementor, so if it didn't find the Elementor plugin, this will happen. But never mind about this. And what if I go to the Jet Form Builder and we go to this service provider? As you can see over here, we have the option to use the custom template for items as well. And if I select this list of dentists, I update this. And if I actually put this onto a page, let's say I add a new post and I paste a shortcode here and let's publish. It is getting an error as well. So I have highlighted this issue to CrocodBlock, and I really hope that they will make some changes to this, because once we can use custom listings on forms, it is going to be a game changer because we can have so many other design options to it instead of following the plain boring form from Jet Appointment. CrocodBlocks is going to be a huge asset to the Gutenberg community, and once they have ironed out those issues, it is going to be such a huge game changer. And when it does happen, I'll create another video tutorial on this. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and feel free to share with me your thoughts on this. Also, if you can do me a little favor and smash that thumbs up button, that will be amazing. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and as always, stay safe.